Hello, welcome to another edition of the Ashmore Google Plus Hangout Law Firm Edition. Y'all are great, by the way. I got to start that. Y'all are fantastic. Here with Lori Ashmore Peters. Gary, raise your hand. We got Christy, Amy Tarno, and Casey here. And Knox, our guest. We would call Knox our guest. He's always a great guest for the show.
Oh, wait, Knox, this way.
Usually the guinea pig,
hey,
but not
this
not
is a
today.
Texas Hangout, so we've got rivalries going here. Y'all are going to be talking about what is probate. We'll have a lot of questions and answers, be more specific, but a lot of people don't even know what probate is. So can you give them an example of what it is?
You're right, I can. And, you know, when you ask people what probate is, we get a lot of interesting answers. You want the legal answer or the non-legal answer?
What kind of audience do we have? Maybe a little bit of both.
Well, the non-legal answer is when someone dies, in order for you to transfer their assets rightfully and legally, you have to go through probate, which is a court process.
Okay.
So that's the easy answer.
That's a non-legal. Okay.
Yes.
And now the legal, more to make it show that you're a real law firm. Give the legal answer now.
You go through probate so that property is legally transferred according to the laws in the state of Texas or your will if you should die testate.
Okay. Why is it important? Why can't I just say, you know what, I'll let the courts handle it. I don't want to mess with all this stuff. Why is it important?
Well, you can't do that. You have to go through probate. Again, if I die, or actually if Chris and I are married, men statistically die first, so I'm sorry about that.
Ouch, that hurts.
But if you were to die and you left a will leaving everything to me as your wife, in order for me to get to your bank accounts, if it only has your name on it, or in order for me to get the car that has your name on it, or for me to get 100% of the house, we have to go through the court process. And with the court process, I'm appointed as what they call an executor, and then I can legally transfer all of the property to me as your wife.
Okay. So the first question we have then is this necessary? Is probate necessary?
Actually, you know what? Not always. That's why we always tell potential clients, meet with more than one probate attorney.
Okay.
Make sure the attorney that you are meeting with is specialized in probate. A lot of attorneys out there may say, yes, you need to go through probate. It's going to cost you X amount of dollars, when probate isn't really necessary. It really depends on what your assets are. There is a way that we are able to get around having to go to court, and it's legal, just to transfer assets, again, depending on what the assets are. If you come to me and you say, I was married, all we really had was a house. My wife passed away. The house is in both of our names. There is a way that we are able to avoid probate, but yet get the house transferred into your name 100%. Okay.
And anybody out there watching, which is everybody, raise your hand if you have a question, or if you want to chime in, just let us know. So probate assets, non-probate assets.
Yes.
What is that about?
Okay, so whenever someone comes into us, it's always important to differentiate the probate assets and the non-probate assets. And I think if you go to a previous Google Hangout that we've done, you'll see the difference again. Your will, or whenever you die, the court only has what we call jurisdiction. The court only controls what's in your probate bucket. That non-probate is easier to define. Okay. Non-probate is that life insurance policy where you properly designated your beneficiary. Okay. Non-probate asset. If you have an annuity, IRA, 401k, again, properly designated a beneficiary, it's a non-probate asset. Okay. It's contractual. Has absolutely nothing to do with your will. Has absolutely nothing to do with the courts, has absolutely nothing to do with actually paying off your debt. Okay. Everything else is probate. Okay. And that does segue into something else. You said, hey, do you have more information on Google Hangouts? We're going to get more into this probate stuff, but I want to talk about Ashmore Law Firm. Okay. Y'all are doing Google Hangouts. You do Twitter chats. Yes. You have books like this that y'all give away. Personally, why do you do it? I mean, why do y'all care about these people? We do. You know what? Our primary goal is education. With what we deal with and with what I deal with, it's death and taxes. It's estate planning, it's probate, and unfortunately, those are the two certains in life. So whether you're dealing with that or guardianships, if you know someone that doesn't have capacity, or whether you're dealing with family law, and I know we've had a lot of Google Hangouts about that, people just need to be educated. We encourage people to, number one, pick your attorney like you do your family physician, and number two, interview attorneys. Make sure you have that warm, fuzzy feeling, and it's just all about education, which is why we do Google Hangouts. We tweet, Facebook, write books, presentations. Yeah, y'all have books that people can just come, and how much do you charge for these? Well, If you want, you can go on Amazon and purchase the books. Or if you go to ashmorelaw.com, and notice I did not do www. If you go to ashmorelaw.com, then you can send us your information, and we will either send you the link, or you can actually get the hard copy book, and we'll mail it to you.
Great. And you have tons of information on your websites as well.
Yes, articles, blogs. We try to keep as current and recent as we can.
Okay. This is great. All right, let's go to the next one. Is there a will? Your loved one may have told you had a will, but you can't find it. That's a tough situation.
Okay, so whenever we do an estate plan for a client, we always tell them, leave your will in a safe place. Do not put it in a safe deposit box, because getting it from a bank after someone has died takes a lot of work. If you have a safe or a fireproof lockbox at home, that's the best place to keep it. You'd be quite amazed at where people actually hide their wills.
Okay, time out right there, time out. Tell me some of those. You don't have to say names. Tell me some interesting ones. That's
okay. And so Casey, I want Casey to raise her hand real quick.
Casey, come on, don't be shy. Maybe she's raising the other hand. We can't see her.
Oh, okay. So if Casey can chime in, she's our probate paralegal, so she helps out with all the probate that comes through the doors. We've had people hiding them in their freezer.
What?
The refrigerator.
Now this is interesting stuff. This is kind of the stuff we need to talk about in Hangout. The freezer. Why in the freezer?
You know what? Who knows why people do what they do?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Under the mattress.
Okay.
The unfortunate thing is we have them also hide them just in drawers with, we all have that drawer at our home that has just a bunch of stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times people will just throw it in there, forget about it, and it's not until the kids really start going through all of the drawers and the house that they find it.
Oh, wow.
Or some people can put it in a box, and you've got 4 years to probate the will in the state of Texas. There are actually times that the family members just can't find it, and they don't find it for 5 or 6 years later when they finally go through that last box that mom or dad left. Mm-hmm. And so it's just, you really need to keep it somewhere that is safe.
Now, for you, if you have a client, do y'all keep a set for yourself as well? The client?
We keep a copy of it.
So the attorney should probably have a copy as well.
Yes, we do keep a copy of it, and we just tell the client to keep it in a safe place. But you don't want to keep it where everybody knows where it is.
Okay. I think, honestly, on that freezer thing, I think you were talking about The Sopranos. A body was in the a body was in the freezer,
not the body,
not a will.
Not the horse's head,
okay.
but the will.
The will. That's
yes.
Okay. Anybody out there, Knox? Where do you keep your will? Is it in the freezer?
No, but I may want to move it to the freezer now that I've got a better idea. I'll be right behind all the.
How about anybody else? Gary, where do you keep your will?
I've got a fireproof safe I bought, and I keep it in my master bedroom closet in a box where it looks like it's like old pictures and stuff.
Okay, so if you're divorced and your ex-wife could be listening on Google Hangouts, or your current one, you might want to be careful where you tell them you keep everything.
Knox, you just messed up.
That's fair enough. Dating advice is great.
Okay, Amy, Casey, what about you? What about you? Where are you keeping your will right now?
We keep it in the safe. That's the safest place.
Okay.
Where do you keep your?
In the safe. So, Lori, where are some good places to not put your will?
Like I said, out in the open. Again, in that cluttered drawer. Don't box it up and think, oh, my family will find it eventually.
Or in a garage would probably be a pretty bad spot too.
It really needs to be in a safe place. We always recommend a fireproof safe, so that if God forbid the house burns down or anything like that, you always keep the document safe.
Oh, good point. Good point. Everything is all digital.
Lori, I know.
Hey Yates, what's the big deal about keeping it out where everyone can see it?
So if, say for instance, Chris and I are married, and he decides.
We've gotten married twice now on this Hangout.
I know. Well, examples. If he happens to leave his half of the property to his best friend, Keith, for instance, you, and not me, if I know where his will is, I can find it, I can tear it up, and when they come in to say, hey, we know Chris had a will, what did he do with it, where is it,
wow.
I could say, you know what, he didn't want to leave everything to Keith, and so he tore it up in front of me. Unless you can find the original will, the assumption is Chris tore it up on his own.
Ouch.
So if you keep it where everybody knows where it is, if someone doesn't necessarily like what you've said in the will,
we were friends, Lori.
Huh?
I thought we were friends.
that?
Now I got ripped up out of the will.
All right. So when do I contact the probate attorney? When do you think it's important to do that?
You know, I always tell clients, go through the grieving process. Depending on the situation, there are times where clients may contact an attorney, you know, an hour after someone died. If the family situation is contentious, that could look a little suspicious. You know, you've got 4 years to go through probate, so I just tell people go through the grieving process, and then you can contact the attorney, and we'll just go from there.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? If you got a question, once again, raise your hands, or if you want to say something, let us know. Okay. What do you need to do to bring your what are some of the key things to bring? Like, you know, I've got to bring something to you as an attorney to learn stuff about us.
You do. And Casey, are you out there?
I'm here.
All right. So, you know, Casey takes a lot of the intake whenever we've got probate questions or clients calling in to say, I need to schedule an appointment. What do I bring? So, Casey, I'm going to let you chime in. What do you tell them? What are the important things that they need?
Well, first, we like to see if they have a will, copy of the will or the original. We prefer the original, of course, to see how they want their estate distributed. Death certificates, marriage certificates, insurance policies, stocks, bonds, IRA accounts, what kind of debts the decedent had, any kind of debts, military records, unpaid bills, bankruptcy filing, divorce filings, basically any other documents that you would think would be important to let us know about.
So right, so if everyone heard that, you need to pretty much bring us so that we know going in, number one, with all of those documents, it'll tell us whether we need to go through probate.
Okay.
Number two, it'll also tell us if we're going to have anyone contesting or fighting the will. But also, if you are still in the process of locating all of those documents, we will sometimes recommend to go ahead and come in, meet with us with the will and at least the asset sheet, and then at least it'll give us some type of a start.
Okay. All right, Knox, you got any questions before we head out? It was a quick hangout, but always great information here. Is there anything you want to ask?
No, I think I'm pretty good. I need to go move my will now, so I got some good.
And don't tell anybody.
You have options.
I put it in the basement.
You've got options: the freezer, the mattress, and a safe.
Yeah.
Put it in the dog's kennel.
That's probably a pretty good idea, except she'll be the one that shreds it, right?
The dog won't be happy about what it's getting.
The dog ate my will, Lori. I'm so sorry.
I think we're good to go. Anybody else? Remember, we do Google Hangouts once a month. You can watch them on YouTube on the YouTube channel. You can send y'all a tweet, ask questions. And the hashtag is AskAshmore. You can ask anytime you want. We really appreciate y'all giving out this information. And thanks, everybody, for watching once again. And another great show.
Absolutely. And, you know, if you have questions, again, go to our website, ashmorelaw.com, and you can fill out the form, send us a question, and someone from the firm will definitely contact you quickly.
Okay. Great. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks, guys.